Welcome to the latest edition of the Fourth and Gold NFL podcast. All steam ahead to the draft. We're going to start looking at some of these players in detail. And I thought, Paul, to kick off, let's have a little bit of a ranking in the spirit of the draft. For today, I've got us the first wide receiver to be drafted in the last 5 drafts. We're going to rank those 5 players. So let me give you the list. We've got Ja'Marr Chase, Drake London, JSN, Marvin Harrison Jr., and we've got to say it because he is a two-way player, Travis Hunter. So I think there'll be no debate in me calling out number 1 has to be Ja'Marr Chase.
Yeah, that's fair. Although JSN did everything he possibly could last year to rival that. But yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. What about number 2?
Well, I got an issue with last year. So Travis Hunter being listed, two-way player. Okay, technically, yes, you are correct. However, I think we should use. I think Ted McMillan would have been the next receiver off the board.
I think he would have. So, well, let me just check that just to be fair. But I'm good with it. I'm good with it. If you want to pivot to McMillan, no problem with that. So Hunter at 2, McMillan at 8.
Okay. So, yeah, JSN should be number 2.
Yep, no question.
And then who we got? Drake London.
Marvin Harrison Jr. and Ted McMillan.
Yeah. Okay. I would go with McMillan had a really good year last year. Marvin Harrison's had below par quarterback play, but hasn't been the receiver that he was at Ohio State yet in the NFL.
I think you will remember me being pretty excited a year in advance of Marvin Harrison Jr. coming into the league, because when I was looking at CJ Stroud, all I kept seeing was this receiver making ridiculous plays. So I was like a year in waiting for Marvin Harrison Jr., and it just hasn't happened so far.
So McMillan, Marvin Harrison Jr., and who?
Drake London.
Okay.
Who, in fairness, a lot of big games put the team on his back last year.
Yeah. I'd still go McMillan 3, London 4, and Marvin Harrison 5. McMillan had a really, really good year with Bryce Young at quarterback, and Drake London hasn't had a year to rival McMillan's rookie year. And that was him as a rookie, so you imagine he would come on again. But it's debatable between 3 and 4.
I think that's fair.
You could alternate those two.
But I think, unfortunately, Marvin Harrison is number 5.
Yeah.
As I said, was really excited for him to come to the NFL, but he just hasn't translated his play from college yet. And yeah, you could say the quarterback play hasn't been great, but I've obviously followed him quite close. He's had moments where, he's just not making plays. Like there's games where he'll have 10 targets and quarterback play not perfect, but to have 2 receptions on those 10 targets, you want to be winning more of those battles, regardless. Because Trey McBride, he had, it's not like they're doubling Harrison and Trey McBride is eating off that. Like, if anything, teams are now doubling Trey McBride. But it's early, there's time.
There's some guys who, yeah, it comes later to them. We've seen it with quarterbacks having a second wind later in their career.
Yeah.
And maybe that's Marvin Harrison. Or maybe he's just dominant against youngsters in college, and then the defense is a different level altogether in the NFL. So we'll see. It's to be determined. Like,
Definitely. Because we've seen flashes. Like there's been moments where you're like, is this the moment?
yeah,
But just needs to get that consistency.
yeah,
So interestingly, JSN was the first receiver drafted in his draft. He went at pick 20.
yeah.
That's amazing.
And where did Puka go? Because Puka went in the same draft. He was in the fifth round,
I
I
think it
believe.
was the fifth. Yeah.
But then, Tyreek Hill was drafted late round pick. Antonio Brown was drafted sixth rounds. It happens. Like these.
Sixth round. That's crazy. And that, for that stretch, he was unbelievable for a sixth round pick.
Well, both of those guys, so Antonio Brown and Tyreek Hill, obviously character issues at times, but they came into the league with, character concerns, and we're not sure how it's going to translate to the NFL. So they were pigeonholed as return guys.
Mm.
Obviously, they turned out to be able to do a little bit more than just return
Yeah,
picks.
definitely.
So take gambles, these shifty, smaller body wide receivers in with your late round picks. You could hit complete gold.
100%. This is why it's the beauty of the draft, isn't it? Because you can find yourself an Antonio Brown in the sixth round.
And
That's just mental.
so Puka, that's going to bug me. I think it was fifth, possibly fourth, but I know it was 03 Puka draft.
Let's have a look.
He's just about to be the highest paid receiver possibly in history. He was selected. He was selected in the fifth round, pick 177.
Wow. There you go.
Where did he go to school? Okay. Okay. There you go. And that's why he went to BYU.
Yep.
So no big media attention on BYU receivers or just
Mhm.
football in general.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Like I said, the beauty of the draft. Who's going to translate to the NFL? And he couldn't have asked for a better situation as well. That's part of it.
Yeah. But they're pigeonholed even like so Puka, we've now said, okay, he got drafted late because he went to BYU. Obviously there's probably more to it than that. But they are ranked even before in high school before they reach college. So if they're not at a level in high school, if they're not, then they won't reach a D1 college, and then they won't get drafted high. And some players just develop later. These are developing humans when they're
Yeah.
that young. So yeah, but especially with NIL now, like the the competition for these top prospects is huge. And I guess if you do go to a smaller school, then you're going to struggle to get drafted in the first 2 to 3 rounds. And maybe we're missing out because you're drafted late because you went to smaller school. You went to a smaller school because you weren't dominant as an 18-year-old, or you weren't as dominant. And yeah, it just happens at different rates for different humans. So
All credit to Puka for just persevering, because it would be easy to just lose faith, lose belief. And look at him now.
yeah, I think it's just the number of shots you get. Like, so he obviously he got drafted fifth round, but as a fifth round draft pick, you probably have one shot.
Yeah.
You know, Jefferson, Chase, these guys drafted first round, they probably have multiple shots. I mean, Marvin Harrison's going to have more opportunities just because of the draft pedigree. If translate that they were drafted fifth round and they were a problem, you're cut. You are out here, and you
Yeah.
might go. So yeah, credit to Puka for like just taking this opportunity. Obviously, like you said, he's on the Rams. You know, it's quite a nice place to play football. Nice climate, nice quarterback play, nice offense, nice play caller. Yeah, it's nice, but he's truly grasped the opportunity.
Absolutely. Like he has, well, he really is one of the best receivers in the league. So I
Yeah,
hope he can put his off-field stuff behind him and, just keep balling out, because every time now the Niners play the Rams, I know where the ball is going. I'm screaming at my TV on 3rd and 5. It's going to Nakua.
yep.
So, yeah, great player. Before we get into the draft, there is one known entity that I wanted to talk about that we didn't cover last week. So it is AJ Brown, and there's a couple of things to this. So the Eagles went out and signed Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore to 1-year deals. Now I know that's not like big names,
Yeah.
but that wide receiver room is pretty crowded now, I'd say. And to me, it just feels like they're setting up for an inevitable AJ Brown trade, I think. Could he stay? Yeah, he could stay, because the Eagles aren't just going to give him away. They are going to make sure they get the deal they want. And I thought it was quite fascinating this week just how candid the Rams were about what they were trying to do. So McVay and Les Snead really did confirm, we tried to trade for AJ Brown and we did try to move Davante Adams. So that, you know, just thinking about those dynamics, Nakua and AJ Brown on the outside, that would have been crazy. But it's just interesting that they were willing to let Davante go. Maybe it's age. AJ Brown is a year younger, but I still stand by it. I wonder how this will linger with Adams over time, because yeah, it's all been very transparent, and that's great. And that's why you love coaches like McVay, that they're just upfront about things. But that's got to dent Adams' ego a little bit. Anyway, this is about AJ Brown. What are the destinations? Because it feels like they're running out.
Well, the destination's going to be, like you said, it's going to be the team that offer the best possible package to the Eagles, because the Eagles are going to take the best deal for the Eagles. So we're playing fantasy football, like where
Yeah.
I'd like to see him.
Where
Okay.
makes sense. I mean, to me, there's one place that just screams out.
I think there are a few.
Okay.
I'm sure we're going to have the same one, but I
Yeah.
think there are a few. I'm trying to read your mind where your obvious one is that screams. Yeah, I'm going to say that your one that screams is a team that has a quarterback who is yet to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
A team who seems to have identified that wide receiver has been an issue, have tried to fix that issue through the draft, and made a trade this offseason for a wide receiver. It's not that team, but
It's not that team, but okay.
Yeah,
That would be really interesting.
that would. I think the Buffalo Bills could go from having questions at wide receiver to then, right, we got DJ Moore and AJ Brown on the outside. And then we've got Shakir over the middle. And we got the tight ends.
And we got the running backs. Like they've got good backups behind Cook.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to. Yeah, it's the Eagles. They're very good at doing business, but I think if you're going to do it, it's a good time to do it because you might get him at a discount. Yeah, send him to Buffalo. Like, go and be aggressive, Buffalo.
I would love that because, and I don't want to I'm not dragging DJ Moore, but I'm just not comfortable with him as a number one. But if you're telling me that AJ Brown goes to Buffalo and DJ Moore's your number two now,
yeah.
Wow, this team is different.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Bills could go from where they were to wow, okay, now Buffalo, now we're talking.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. That would usurp what I was thinking. So I'll give you another try. Where do you think? Where else do you think AJ Brown should go?
I think the obvious one, but I don't think you're going to say this team, but I think the obvious one is the Patriots.
Bingo.
But then there are some honorable mentions.
Mm.
I would like to see him with the Chargers. They haven't hit gold at wide receiver, and AJ Brown's different. And you've got Herbert, so give him that big body dominant wide receiver on the outside. Also, the Chiefs.
Wow. Yeah. How they would make that work cap-wise, I don't know, but
they've been trying to fill wide receiver for a little while since they traded away Tyreek Hill. And it's been some guys, and they haven't worked out. And Rashee Rice is often suspended, unavailable, and then inconsistent when he is available. So go and get a number one. And yeah, but there's so many other teams that could use AJ Brown. He's that good, so yeah, those are the ones that's kind of sprung to me. I would love the Bills, probably number one.
100%. I mean, the one I was thinking of was the Patriots, simply because they've released Diggs, and you look at their receiver room, and while these players are good role players, no one really scares you. Like, they don't have a legit number one now.
Why have they got Diggs? What have they got else?
Yeah. And I just think of it as well from the Vrabel angle. When Vrabel and AJ Brown were in Tennessee together,
yeah,
I felt like he loved AJ Brown as a player.
He did. Famously, he was pretty upset.
Yeah. So to me, that changes it for them, because right now,
what Diggs' money situation was that a terrible contract that they would just needed to get out of?
I don't know the details of this, but I feel like Diggs is in some off-field trouble, and it hasn't been resolved yet, I believe. Okay. So maybe it was just simply, we don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, there's got to be something, because they don't. They it's not like they're filled with wide receivers.
No, and the play from Diggs was actually really good.
Yeah, yeah, he's really talented. He's just a complete pain in the butt.
But you look at who's left. I really like Matt Collins. Like, I think he's a really good receiver, big body receiver.
Yeah.
Okay, they got Booty, they're sort of speedster, but Hunter Henry's still around, Mr. Reliable. But you're looking at that and you're saying that's what you're going to go into this year, where you're going to have the target on your back. That's what you're going to give Drake May. I think they need an upgrade.
Yeah, that could be a swing. Say the Bills. Listen, if we don't do it, then the Patriots might do it.
Yeah,
Let's go and
yeah,
try it.
yeah. So it's you're getting better and you're hurting your rival. Honestly, now you've put that in the atmosphere. Buffalo, make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. You've been messing about with receivers for a while.
And we saw last year, Brandon Cooks comes on the scene, and wow, he's making plays with Josh Allen.
Yeah,
And like I've said before, no disrespect to Brandon Cooks because he's had a great career, but he's right up there in age, and it's almost like a compliment to him. He outperformed all of the receivers on the team.
yeah. They really don't like the receiver they drafted, Coleman. That's clear. And who was it? Was it the owner who made the comment about Coleman?
Yeah. So
Yeah, done. Like, well, he's not done if they've got no other option, but they want. Yeah, so yeah, it's a very strange comment from the Buffalo Bills owner.
yeah. So moving on, let's let's pivot towards the draft pool. This week I started looking at some of the, shall we say, like the projected first round selections. And we'll start with the projected number one overall pick, Fernando Mendoza. So I when I watch him, I think that this is a very good athlete. But as like number one overall picks go, I don't see like a generational talent. And that doesn't mean that he's not going to be a huge success in this league. I just don't, from a talent perspective, I don't see, like that wow factor. But what I do see is someone that is, looks highly efficient to me. And the scheme that Indiana ran, it seems to mesh with what Kubiak likes to do. And Kubiak's scheme, is going to be quarterback friendly for most people. But I really do feel like Mendoza is going to fit in well here because it's a lot of play action. He ran a lot of RPO as well. And he's going to use his legs. He's not like electric speed, but he's got enough speed for it to be a problem. So overall, I think this could be a good marriage, so long as this offensive line has improved.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I don't know a great deal about Mendoza. Just that he had a pretty good year last year, and he's going to have opportunities with the Raiders because they are going to go all in with him. And is he that good, or is he just by default the number one pick because there's not a great amount of quarterbacks available in this draft? We don't know, to be determined. I think the interesting thing is next year. I've heard that, clickbait next year is going to be crazy. Next year is potentially 8 quarterbacks in the first rounds.
Wow.
So, yeah, this year is kind of dull. Like we had the Dan Orlovsky get roasted for. Did you see that with Dan O saying that Ty Simpson's better than Mendoza, and he just got ripped by Matt
Interesting.
because apparently Ty Simpson and had more noteworthy plays than Mendoza, and he got ripped. Now everybody has the same opinion except Dan Orlovsky that Mendoza is clear the number one overall pick. But it doesn't mean he's the number one player. It just means he's the number one rated quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
The Raiders are in this position because they haven't solved the quarterback problem. So I hope it works out for the Raiders because I like it when the Raiders are good. I like the fans, and they've got a great stadium. City of Vegas deserves it. Great place to visit as a traveling fan. Yeah, he's going to have opportunities, but we will see. We will
Yeah.
see. I don't. Also, if just looking bigger picture, just zooming out from it, if Indiana, just playing devil's advocate with it a little bit, if Indiana are national champions, was it a great college season?
Mm, that's an interesting way to put it.
So is it just a slight?
Because it was Indiana versus Miami
Yeah,
in the national championship, which is a very different national championship than we're used to.
yeah. Just putting it out there.
Mm.
I'm not claiming that I know a great deal about college football,
Yep.
but it's just the same teams
Mm.
quite often, year after year, and then Indiana's like beating these teams, and then they go on this run. Interesting. I know the head coach is loved, but yeah, I don't know. Was it a year that you want to be drafting high, or is it a good year to we're not too bothered about? Is it going to be a draft where you hit gold in the later rounds, where you pick up your Pukas and your ABs and your cheaters in the late rounds, and Mendoza turns out to be, like you said, if he just turns out to be a mid NFL quarterback, that's okay. That's okay, but it's draft season, so everyone's got to have their take and opinion on, yeah, Mendoza's this. Well, what if he's just okay?
Yep.
That's all
And,
right.
and that's the thing. Like I will mirror what you said. I am no college football expert. I don't follow it in detail throughout the season. Simply going off eye test and what I've seen, my initial reaction with Mendoza was I think he can be good, but I don't see generational talent the way that I've seen that in others in the past.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So
Like, who saw generational talent with Brock Purdy? Who saw generational talent with, like, even Dak Prescott? Like,
yeah.
he was drafted late. Like, lots of quarterbacks are drafted late.
Yeah.
So,
And like I said, that doesn't mean anything. Like Mendoza could go to the Raiders and absolutely kill it and improve. And, show that it's not all about arm talent. Like it's good, I'm not saying that he's not got good arm talent. It's just, you know, I'll just say it. Like when I saw Caleb coming through, I had quite a lot of belief that Caleb was going to be special.
yeah. Yeah, I think Mendoza does look good, but I'm just throwing it out there. Was it a slightly lesser than level of competition
Mm.
in college football last year?
Yeah, I think
So
that's fair.
and on tape going, wow, oh my God, look at those plays. Yeah, but what was he up against?
And that's the thing. Like from what and small sample size. From what I saw, I didn't see too many of those plays where I said, "Wow!" Like I just saw this is great execution. This is great execution. Great read. Great decision to run there. Great accuracy on the throw outside the numbers.
Yeah.
But I didn't see things that made me say, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Like this guy's coming. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with you. Caleb did make me think, whoa, he's going to be really, really good. I just hope he figures it out at the professional level.
Yeah.
And Burrow was like that. Burrow was crazy in college. Uh, but yeah,
But generational talent doesn't always work out. Like I think that was branded with Trevor Lawrence, and
Yeah,
it's been a rocky ride. Like I think last year was definitely a step in the right direction, but it still wasn't, it still wasn't perfect.
yeah,
But he's headed in the right way. But
yeah.
the first couple of years, granted, he was dealt a pretty difficult hand in year one. Yeah, we've had question marks. So I will also acknowledge that it's not just all on, the talent that you see at the college level. It has to translate, and
Yeah.
that's the exciting part. But you raised Ty Simpson, so I thought, let's touch on him because it's another player that I looked at this week. And again, it's just based on what I watched. The eye test immediately made me think this is like a young Kirk Cousins, because just the mannerisms and the way that he played, it felt like a rookie Kirk Cousins, and by virtue of that, I think this is kind of a quarterback that the likes of McVay and Shanahan would love, because he looks like someone that is gonna, run. He's gonna know exactly what he's doing on all of the on schedule plays.
Mm.
And interestingly to me, what I sort of noticed was he seems to love the intermediate throws. And typically in the NFL, that's the danger zone. And that's going to be interesting to see how he fares in that regard. But again, like I don't want to make like a big conclusion on him, but I can see why teams aren't looking to pick him in the top 10. Like I don't think he's going to be that level of quarterback to start off with. It's definitely a project, much like Kirk Cousins was. Um, the arm's good enough, but again, not. I don't see like crazy angle throws or anything like that. He is gonna run what he is comfortable with. I think it's very much like I throw it one way, but I'm really good at doing it that way. Like you're not going to see, let's say for example, like Drake May, the touch throws, the feel for those types of ranges. It's just very much like this is my throwing motion. That's what I've picked up at least. Um, so could he do well? Yeah, he probably could in the right system.
Yeah, Ty Simpson runs or has been playing in, from what I'm hearing, a kind of NFL ready offense.
Yeah.
So it's going to translate over. And he had lots of plays where he had to go through two, three progressions. And lots of quarterbacks don't have that. So NFL like coaches would be looking at Ty Simpson saying, "Okay, yeah, we could work with this. Yeah, we he could come in and he's been running this. So what we teach him, he's going to know.
Mm.
So that's attractive. But the draft is, or we get just caught up so much in the physical attributes, and that's where Ty Simpson is. He's not wowing people in that aspect.
But like you said, like the mental part of it, the IQ side of things, I think he's going to be really good at. Like once he gets a scheme, he's going to master it in his head at least.
Yeah, he does look like, to me like he'll be in the NFL for years to come, whether as a starter or a career backup. But there will always be kind of a slot for players like Ty Simpson, who he just seems he's not. Yeah, I don't think he's going to win you a championship, but I think he could do worse than Ty Simpson.
Yeah, like I think he's going to be able to run a system for sure.
Yeah,
Like in his Alabama scheme, there was a lot of RPO, a lot of screens, a lot of like, you know, I don't want to say gadget plays, but there was layers to it. So he looked very comfortable in that scheme. You
Yeah.
know,
He was,
it's not like a here's 5 plays, we're going to run those 5 plays. Like it was a broader offense, and he didn't look out of place. I think maybe though, what will be difficult is maybe the off schedule.
yeah,
That's where he might get exposed.
yeah, he was like throwing the ball to the third read, but he's playing at Alabama. He had time to get to that third read. But NFL coaches, they love that because that's a lot of plays in the NFL because it's hard to get open in the NFL.
Yeah, yeah. So I think where is he projected? I feel like I've seen mid 20s, um, but I must admit I haven't really looked in great detail at this.
Yeah, I saw Jets second round.
Yeah,
It could happen. He could fall out in the first round.
yeah. It's just is the team going to reach it? We'll see. Because the thing is, like we've said, the the mental aspect, the IQ aspect is attractive to teams.
Yeah.
So, you know, if he's high character with, ability that you can work with, teams generally go to that. So,
Who the hell knows?
yeah.
Was Shador supposed to be drafted?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who the hell?
Shador's approach to the draft, he was a unicorn. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Ty Simpson. That's definitely going to be an interesting, like, end of round one, start of round two debate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think someone will take a shot.
Yeah,
I think it'll be end of first. I think someone will take a shot.
sort of like Jackson Dart last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's looking like it's worked out. So
yeah. So moving on, I've got to say, of all the people I looked at, this was my favorite prospect. It is Kenyon Sadiq, or I'm going to say it, Sadiq the Freak. Tight end, Oregon. This guy just athletically is special. And, I'm getting swayed because of that. I'm falling into the trap that you just said. But looking at the play, he can do a bit of everything. Like, this tight end feels like yards after catch machine. Can he translate his physicality from college to NFL? That's the question mark. He's not going to be a complete mismatch that he was, at least in the footage that I saw in college. This guy's like running people over. He did run like a 4.39, and what I like about him is his change of direction. Like, he's got good feet. So even if it's like he's got the ball, yards after catch, great. But the adjustments that he's making on, shall we say, like, badly timed uh, plays. Like, I'm not going to blame the quarterback, but the ball's behind him.
yeah.
He's got good anticipation for that, and the kind of spectacular part where he's going to talk his body, make that play. He's a downfield threat. Like, he is a prospect, and I think he's been projected sort of midway through the first round. If he drops further than that, this is someone I'd be very interested in taking to San Francisco. I don't think he's going to get there though.
So what's he listed as?
He's a tight end.
No, like weight. Like
Oh, weight. I don't know about weight, but
when you're talking him, I'm thinking like he's a big body, saying he's running people over is he, the new school like receiving tight end, or is he
new school receiving tight end. So I'm not great at assessing blocking personally, and I don't really look at it in that amount of detail. So I'm going off what people have said. They don't think that he's a great blocker necessarily. So he's very much like, new age receiver tight end.
Okay.
But let's have a look. So he is listed. So I'm gonna have to do the conversion here. 111 kilograms, 1.91 meters tall. What does that translate to?
Uh,
kg to pounds. So he's 245.
okay. So yeah, he's not like a Darnell Washington of the
No,
Steelers.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
definitely not.
I think Darnell's listed at like 270, and that's a lie. He should be, yeah, he's probably over 300. So geez.
Mm.
That's, I don't know. That weight is probably kind of a Kittle, kind of Kelsey, kind of a size,
Mm.
similar. Yeah,
He's pretty fast. So um, it's definitely someone that has caught my eye, and I will be tracking from this point onward.
cool.
So that brings us to the last player that I really looked at in detail, and this is the one that I was really excited to look at. I must admit, Jeremiyah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. When I watched him, yeah, like the speed just jumps off the film. Like he is electric fast. But and again, like I am no college football expert. I'm going off what I've seen in a limited capacity. I couldn't get there with the level of excitement that I've had with previous running backs. Like I very much got swayed by what I saw when Saquon came out, when Leonard Fournette came out. Like I was really excited for those guys. Jeremiyah Love is a different kind of running back to me from those guys because they combined speed with power. And I don't see the power element for Jeremiyah Love. I see the speed.
Yeah, I heard he's a Bichon kind of comparison.
Okay. I mean, even with Bijan, I feel like Bijan is like a more physical back.
He's thick.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't I and that can change, at the end of the day, this is a young man entering the NFL. And guess what? You're going to be at an NFL team. They're going to help you condition and get to that next level. But just from what I've seen, like he's not going to run people over.
mm.
Like this is very much a speed back, elusive. Like, I'm not trying, and I don't want to downplay him because the strengths are strong, right? If you get him in the right scheme and you get him in plays where there is open field, he is gonna eat. Like he's gonna eat that because he's electric fast. His mindset is, I'm gonna make my decision and I'm gonna hit, that point. Whether he's gonna hit the hole or he's gonna, he sees the open field, he's gonna take the maximum out of that. I just think though, if it's gonna be like you're looking for yards after contact, I don't think you're going to get much from him. Like you're going. That's why I think you're going to have to find him space. It's not going to be a breaking tackles kind of running back, in my opinion.
183, so he's 6 foot, 97 kilos. That's what he's listed at. And don't forget, like some players do get trained up in the NFL. So
Exactly. Exactly.
famously, like I don't want to bring up this player because it will only upset me, but Le'Veon Bell was told to lose some damn weight after getting drafted by the Steelers by Mike Tomlin, and he did, and turned out to be a pretty good NFL player. I think he lost 20 pounds.
100%. Yeah. So, you know, it's just at the prospect level. That's all. I think he
Yeah.
could be devastating with his speed.
Listed weight is 213. That is, yeah, you probably it's not far. It's not, a Le'Veon transformation. It's not like he needs to be 233, but he probably needs to be 220
Yeah.
and above. And when can you think of like a speedster running back, like an every down, speed orientated running back translating into the NFL and having a successful career over a number of years, not like one or two.
Mm.
Recently, you could say Gibbs. Gibbs is an interesting comparison. Obviously, he's pretty new into the NFL, but what's Gibbs's weight? Because Gibbs,
Yeah, it did. Gibbs didn't just hit the ground running, did he? He had to sit on the sideline for a bit.
yeah,
And now look at him. So, I mean, you hope for Jeremiyah Love that because with running back, it is solely dependent on situation. Like it doesn't matter who you are. It could be Saquon Barkley. If you're behind a terrible offensive line, you got no chance. We saw it last year. We saw it with Genti. Yeah, okay, he got to 1,000 yards, but in terms of like being impactful, it was hard for him to be impactful behind that offensive line.
so Jahmyr Gibbs is 10 pounds lighter, according to ESPN. Must,
Interesting.
must be true. He's 10 pounds lighter than Jeremiah Love's listed weight right now.
And I'm guessing he's shorter.
Uh, so Love's 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gibbs is 5'9".
Yeah. So not that big a difference. I guess it's just when I see like Jeremiah Love's like legs, like it's on the skinny side, I think.
Yeah.
So as you said, that he's gonna enter the NFL and he's gonna get conditioned the right way wherever he goes. So, this is not me poo-pooing, what he could be because the speed is there. As I said, you get in the right scheme, open field plays, yeah, he's just gonna eat it up. But the reason why I'm just a little bit skeptical is because he's being projected in the top five. And if we look at over the last, say, decade, right, how many running backs have gone in the top 10? I've got them listed here. There's basically six in the last 10 or 11 years. You got Todd Gurley. He worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Zeke Elliott. He was unstoppable for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then, okay, it fell off. CMC. Yeah, pretty good. Fournette. Despite what Emmanuel Acho said this week, Fournette had a decent career. Let's not like even question that. Like it was short, but it was really great at times. Saquon and Bijan. So it is a short list for a reason. But it's quite a risk to take a running back this high.
Gibbs was drafted high. I know
Gibbs was in the 20s, I think.
Yeah, but was he supposed to be a first round pick? I remember that was a topic at the time.
Yeah. So even in the 20s, like eyebrows were raised about that pick. So I just hope though that Jeremiyah Love goes to the right team. He's got an offensive line that he can actually have a chance behind. But the projections are that it could be the Titans, which with Cam Ward, with Brian Daboll, I think that would give him a chance.
Okay, I heard Saints. Saints are what 10 or something like that.
Man, Saints are stacking the deck at running back if they so they'd have. I'm going to say Travis Achan, as he has corrected the media. Yeah, okay, veteran Kamara and then Jeremiyah Love. That's a lot of running backs.
Yeah, Kamara's on the way out.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe not the Saints. Think about it, yeah, because they made that. They paid. They paid ETN all that money, didn't they?
Yeah.
Then
Will he get there? It
oh
sounds like he's not going to get there.
yeah, Chiefs, but then the Chiefs went and paid Kenneth Walker all that money.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And that's why I wanted to make sure because I don't want to like sound like I'm dogging this guy because he could be pretty special.
Yeah,
He's got the speed, and as we've said time and time again, speed kills. It's just yeah,
yeah. Look at Jahmyr Gibbs so far.
exactly, exactly. Is there anyone else that you wanted to pick up on, Paul?
Not at the moment in the draft. Just that broad. My thing was just on Mendoza. Just well, can we just admit that it might not have been a great college year? Just
Fair.
it's just a thought. Like,
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. So I thought we'd have a little bit of fun before we close. Last week, I made a comment about one Dak Prescott, and I said he's not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And we got some pushback, some some abusive pushback. So I thought, why not double down and can we name 10 quarterbacks that are better than Dak Prescott? And this is not a hate thing on Dak Prescott. It's just how I personally have evaluated him. Maybe you have a difference of opinion, Paul, but I thought we just go through the exercise. So no brainers: Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen, the big four, and I think the reigning MVP Stafford, just to set the scene.
yeah, yeah. That's fair. I do. Okay, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. Lamar. See, what game are we trying to win? Are we trying to beat the Commanders in the regular season on
No,
Sunday, 1 o'clock, or are we trying to beat the Rams in the NFC title game?
yeah, this is not about stats that I think sometimes people get swayed on.
Yeah, this is
We're
a rule thing because Dak Prescott is really, really good in the regular season, and I think Dak Prescott is an exceptional football player.
yeah.
Can I get 10 quarterbacks better than him or that I rate higher than him?
When you get to the playoffs, that's the only thing we've seen him struggle. The game that always sticks in my mind is that Cowboys 49ers game where
Yeah.
the Cowboys were the better team for at least the first half and possibly the third quarter, but he got in the way.
Okay, so those five,
Yeah.
Allen, Holmes, Burrow, Lamar, Stafford.
Would,
Then
would you take Caleb or Dak?
I take Caleb.
Yeah.
I take Caleb now and I take him for the future all around. I take Herbert over Dak.
Yep.
To be determined, I wouldn't take him yet over Dak, but Drake, mate, I wouldn't take him yet.
Okay. What about Jordan Love?
This is the guy, like, he's so inconsistent, though, Jordan Love.
But in high leverage moments, he's been pretty good. And I know people like to kind of like shit on his playoff record, But look at the teams that he's lost to. He's lost to the number one seed 49ers. He's lost to, were the Eagles the number one seed? Maybe not. That was a Super Bowl winning team. And okay, they lost to the Bears last year, which they probably shouldn't have.
Yeah. I don't know, it's tough. Like they are very close in my opinion, but I would take Jordan Love just over Dak.
So that's 8.
And then you get into, your Darnold, Purdy's.
Would you take Jaden Daniels right now over Dak?
Oh yeah, Jaden Daniels. You forget about him because he had.
Yeah. And I think the thing to remember is look at the situations. Jaden Daniels surrounded by old guys, let's face it. And Dak has CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. But Dak's been around longer. Jaden Daniels has had one unbelievable season. So it's definitely a toss-up.
Yeah, I think those guys are. Look, these guys, I throw like a blanket over them. Darnold, Purdy, Dak, Jaden Daniels. They're between
It's pick your preference, isn't it?
Yeah, between 8 to kind of 15 in the NFL. There are some, I'm fine with them as my quarterback. And Dak Prescott, when you look at the stats, is incredible.
Yeah, when you look at the stats, but we need some context with the stats, I think.
Yeah, I think we got to this point because I think, anyway, it was raised that his contract makes him the highest paid player in the NFL.
Yeah.
Player all around. And if we're debating whether he's a top 10 quarterback, then I think we've concluded that he's not deserving of this contract. And this was raised on the back of us discussing how the Cowboys are going to navigate the George Pickens contract situation. And we concluded that they've got themselves into a situation and they probably will mess it up based on past history because of what they did with Dak Prescott. And the result was that Dak Prescott is the highest paid player in the NFL right now. And he's not the best quarterback or player full stop in the NFL. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's any Cowboys fan that is defending that is delusional. So, yeah, I like Dak Prescott, but he will always have that thing. Darnold's another one that's just gone and won the Super Bowl. So he's got that monkey off his back. Like Dak Prescott has not produced in the playoffs. And
I feel like I'm fairly reasonable when it comes to Purdy. I might not even have him like top 15, but I've seen him outperform Dak in the playoffs. I've seen Purdy play at a high level
last year, and he was doing the Dougie and everything when he was really like Purdy was cooking last year, really was. So yeah, look, it's all. Do you capture do you rank them overall for their whole career, or do you rank them in moments, or what game am I trying to win? It's all subjective. It's all just fun. It's all
just off-season fun. Yeah.
I mean, my team don't even have a quarterback. We've got Mason Rudolph and Will Howard, and Steelers fans are reacting to Mike McCarthy saying, I don't think Will Howard should have been drafted in the 6th round. I think he should have been drafted higher. That's Steelers off-season news. That, maybe Will Howard now.
Did you hear the report? Well, it's a report I saw on PFT today about Rodgers and how maybe there'll be some interest from the Broncos.
What?
Yeah.
That's new.
That's new. That's like hot off the press. So I really don't have any context to this, how much strength it has, but it was compelling enough for PFT to release that. I like to think they're not really a clickbait kind of outlet. So
Yeah.
there's got to be some substance to it. Like how strong that is, I don't know. But the point would be, Rodgers playing because Bo Nix isn't ready to start the season. I don't think that's a great option for him because Bo Nix will be back.
Yeah. Oh wow. So the Bo Nix injury
Because it
is
happened late, didn't it? It happened pretty late.
yeah, it happened on literally like the last play. Was it the last play of that game or something?
One
Or
of the last plays, yeah. And I also recall seeing a report that, and I'm sure Rodgers will absolutely shit all over this, but the report was saying that Rodgers is looking for somewhere in the region of 30 million this year.
I don't
So
believe any Rodgers stories until
yeah, exactly.
that because he has and credit to him for this. He does anybody who says that they know are just flat out lying because
Yeah.
it disappears and he's he's so pissed off at everybody in the media and he's got so many conspiracy theories that I don't think he he either doesn't tell anybody or the people that he does are literally that close to him that there are no leaks out of I think if I'm going to project this then I think that he's just going to turn up in Pittsburgh similar to last year so he gets himself out of off-season workouts.
I 100% agree. That's what he's doing. Whether
Yeah,
that's good for the team, I don't know, but that is what I think is happening right now.
I think the fact that nobody is panicking suggests to you that that's what's going to happen.
I think he needs to really declare his intentions by the draft, though.
What
But he's probably not going to.
I think it's a cut and paste from last year.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think, yeah, he's not interested in training in the off season,
No.
and yeah, he values his time with his new wife and knows who his new wife is. So that tells you the new era of Aaron Rodgers. He's very, very secretive.
Yep. Okay.
Any stories you hear, I just think, no, I don't even look at them now. The
No.
Rod,
Until he says something. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just speculation.
yeah. Until I see him with like the Steelers logos in the background, like then, and even then, it could be an AI thumbnail that you click on. So I just, yeah, I just think just fun in the off season.
Yep. So I thought to Empel, I thought we would have another go at this fusion draft of players that have played for two teams. I want you to just pick the first AFC team that comes to your mind, and I'll do the same for the NFC.
Okay. Let's go with the New York Jets.
Wow. I had Eagles in mind.
Okay.
But this could be rough again. I don't know.
Jets and Eagles. Wow.
Jets and Eagles.
Oh, Michael Vick played a year for the Jets.
Oh wow. Yeah, okay.
Michael Vick, 1 season for the Jets, 5 seasons for the Eagles.
That infamous Vic game versus the Commanders will always stay in my mind. He went crazy from play one.
Oh, Vick was like credit to him. He was spectacular when he came back to the Eagles after all that shit off the field.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
Oh yeah.
That hookup like that he had with Deshaun Jackson like back in the day was incredible.
That was a crazy offense. Deshaun Jackson, Macklin, Shady McCoy, and Vic.
Yeah, and then they went absolutely crazy the Chip Kelly days, and they traded Shady McCoy for Kiko Alonso from the Bills, like straight up.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that trade, like, what the fuck are the Eagles doing? Like, for a middle linebacker, you're going to do that straight up for Shady McCoy when he was dominating the NFL. Like,
Yeah.
stupid. But as you know, Chip Kelly has
Oh yeah, I
he's not
experienced
he's not
pain for a year.
not the greatest personnel guy.
No, no, they're definitely I know better than everyone else kind of guy. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Cool. All right, man.
All right, mate. Good to talk to you. We'll see you all next week.